So how are you for not wearing masks? You can breathe freely. You can breathe freely. It's so hard to breathe, isn't it? But you know, putting masks is not a new thing. Being a quarantine isn't a new thing. Why? Because if you go back to the first reading, it tells us that there is a mask of a leprosy, a person with leprosy, and they will be isolated to the community. So they are quarantined in a particular place. Okay. But I had this particular question for today, because today also is, what day today? Valentine's Day. Are you celebrating the Valentine's Day? Maybe said, Father, it's only for the young people. But are you not young at heart? Maybe let us greet one another. Happy Valentine's Day. But there's one question that I would like to ask. Are you in a relationship? Maybe some of you are thinking, oh, I'm not a teenager anymore, Father. I'm not a single one. That's why I'm asking, are you in a relationship? Either you are a teenager or a person with wisdom. I did not use that you're old, but I use the word in wisdom. Are you still in a relationship? Maybe you would ask me, Father, how are you? Are you in a relationship? What if I would say, yes? All of us are in a relationship. Why? Because all persons are relational beings. Isn't it? We are not only a social being, not only a religious being, but we are all relational beings. We are relational persons. That's why in the gospel for today, when the man approached Jesus and they begged and knelt down Jesus, there is this humanity on that person that I think there's a particular thing that Jesus has. Jesus is like a magnet that every person can go to Jesus. Why? Because in the first part and the last part of the gospel, in the first part, the person with leprosy went to Jesus, and in the last part it says, even Jesus cannot go openly to the town. Jesus is in a deserted place. People keep coming to him. So Jesus is like a magnet. So Jesus always in relationship to the people. And the person with leprosy, because of his sickness, he was isolated. And you see, a person who is isolated is a person who is lonely, isn't it? A person who is in quarantine, they have these mental problems, meaning there's a problem of their mental health. I would like to use the mental problem because maybe some of you would think. But now, the world is in a quarantine, isn't it? The world. So we are separated to one another. It's so hard to relate. That's why in the past few days, we had the masks. It's hard to talk to one another. Because if you talk without the masks, maybe you can have the droplets of your saliva to others and you can spread the virus. That's why the relationship is quite different today. it seems that all of us has this leprosy. Because as I told you in the first reading, it says, if a swelling, a scab, or shiny spot appears in a man's skin, it is a case of leprosy. If there is discoloration of your skin, even rashes, they're considered leprosy. And a person with leprosy, it says, is unclean. See? It's unclean. Because a person with leprosy, there's a disfigured of the face and some parts of the body. And that's why it says, a person affected with leprosy must wear his clothing torn. See, this clothing torn is a face mask, actually. So they put a mask on the face of the person. And his hair is disordered. At the same time, he must shield his upper lip and cry, unclean, unclean. And they must be live apart and must live outside the camp. See? But in the past few days, as I told you, we have the masks. And as if we have this leprosy. But this kind of leprosy is not only in the gospel, especially in the readings, especially in the gospel, it is not only talk about physical sickness, but a relational one. Because I told you, if a person with leprosy, you must live apart from the community and you must be quarantined. So there is the broken relationship. Because we have this leprosy. I say leprosy, I told you it's a broken relationship. That's why I told you a while ago, are you in a relationship? Or are you broken-hearted? If you're broken-hearted, there is a broken relationship. But the question is, how do we avoid and how do we repair that relationship? Especially to the Lord. In the gospel, it gives us a particular idea. It says, Jesus made with pity. And the person asked, Lord, if you will, you can heal me. And Jesus said, I will do it. Be made clean. And the person was healed. So if you want to repair that broken relationship, if you want to avoid that leprosy in our relationship, the first thing that we must do is to forgive. How do we forgive? That's the question. The hard thing that a person can do is to forgive, especially to his enemies or to her enemies. But Jesus said, I will do it and you will be clean. And the person was healed. See, the same also with us. If you want to repair, if you want to heal that broken relationship, let us forgive one another. That's why Jesus said, go to the priests, obey Aaron, and ask them that you will be declared clean. But why to the priest, not to the doctor? Because in the Jewish mentality, if you have this particular sickness, it is connected to sin against the Lord. That's why you must go to the priest, and the priest of Aaron would declare that you must be clean, meaning your sins are already forgiven. That's why, if we want to heal that broken relationship, let us forgive. If you want to be free, And if we want to have the holy healing heart, the key is forgiveness. It would heal our relationship. The second thing that we must do is not only about forgiving, but we must know how to listen. Why? Because when Jesus healed the person, and Jesus told him sternly, "Do not tell to anybody that I healed you." But the person, with excitement, he tells the story. That's why Jesus cannot openly go to the town. He cannot enter to the town because the person doesn't listen to Jesus. So now Jesus cannot enter to the town. So that's why if we want to heal the broken relationship, if you want to heal the leprosy of our relationship, we must know how to listen to Jesus. Listening is an opening of our hearts to the Lord. So if we don't know how to listen to Jesus, we are closing our hearts. We are shutting the door to Jesus. That's why St. Paul tells us in the second reading, say, "Eat, drink what you want, but do not sin." If you eat and drink, do it for God's glory. If you do something, do it for God's glory, not for your own glorification. That's why St. Paul said, "Imitate us as we imitate Christ." Meaning, we must know how to listen. And maybe we know how to listen because in the past few days, we wear masks, isn't it? Masks against the COVID-19. That's why, my dear brothers and sisters, as we continue this celebration, let us heal our broken relationship, not only to one another, but especially to the Lord. But how? For forgiving one another and always listening to Jesus. Amen.